Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Romance with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis here. Sorry to finally talk about episode 32 of Love Island UK. And with me to do so is Miss T-Joy. How are you today, Miss T-Joy?
I'm good. Hi, everyone.
Hold on a second. Why do you hear that? Why am I hearing an echo, like a full-on echo? I had to mute that because it was just too loud. Okay, hold on. Miss T-Joy, talk to me.
Yeah, I didn't hear an echo.
I hear a full-on echo. Like full. I'm gonna leave and come back. Here, Mika, introduce yourself, and then I'm gonna come back.
Okay. Hi, guys. How are you? I'm Mika with Entertainment in Color. Hey, Miss T-Joy.
Hey, Mika. How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. We had a time last night, didn't we?
We had a time. Like those men in the villa. We had a time.
We did. If you are not watching Love Island USA, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life?
Like, what are you doing? Because we are recapping it. Chantel's recapping it solo on her channel, but we've been recapping it on my channel, and we are having the best time. We had the greatest comments.
Yes.
Emma's saying here that it was a good one, y'all.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. And that's probably the reason why my body was like, you know what, you need to sleep. Because I was already up really early yesterday. We talked until, I think 2 a.m. or was it 3 a.m.?
Yes.
2 a.m. I think I finally went to sleep at around 3 a.m. And I just didn't set an alarm or anything. My lights were, everything were still on. And then I woke up at 1:25. Like I was like, oh. And like I feel really groggy and tired now.
Your body needed the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. We were up. We had a time.
We did have a time. Honestly, I haven't even edited. Like I wanted to edit yesterday, but like I fell asleep, obviously. Hi, Jessica. Hi. Yes, last night was a lot still coming down from a high from USA. Was I dreaming about USA? I might have been.
They did that on the perfect cliffhanger because they knew we needed all of Saturday to just get ourselves together and recover before Sunday.
But I'm kind of craving it. I need it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm falling in love with Kenny.
I cannot wait to see what Cordell and Serena are fussing about, like what he's saying. I want her to eat him up some more. Like what?
Going to. It's definitely not over. I think she would have left him alone if he had just been like, I didn't lie to you. This was just a stronger connection for him to be hemming and high.
Yes.
Nah, he played himself. She gonna keep eating him up because it's like you clearly was not standing on business. You just did what you wanted to do just to do it.
I was gonna send it to you, but I didn't. So this is just a couple of things. We're gonna talk about UK in 1 second, but we got to get this off of our chest. So I was saying how like people are still really upset with Serena, and there's just 2 comments from Facebook that I just wanted to read. They're so annoying. So one says, Serena has been playing with Cordell's feelings this whole entire time. Why is it so wrong for him to see about another connection like everyone else has the chance to do? And it's like,
that's his cousin. That's his cousin.
And then the other person, it's like agreeing to that person. Agree. Serena played him. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to get physical too soon, but there is so much more to a relationship, and she gave him nothing. He has every right to find something special.
She gave him nothing. Then why did he stay? If she gave him nothing, why did he stay? That has to be the question. These people are delusional. She gave him something, and what she gave him, he liked. Because he don't brought that girl back, and he's still looking at her and her face, and now he immediately regrets it because she gave him a lot. They get on my nerves.
Hi, Prishay. Prishay says, "Hey, yes, last time was a time. I had clients this morning and barely could get up. I know. Look at I
Bro, it's like we were at the club. We shut it down.
Lady Lyrics, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sharnice.
Hi.
Hi, Shorties.
Jessica says, I hate comments like that. Most people have no issue with him getting to know another girl. People are upset with how he moved. Exactly.
Period.
And it just makes it look like the only reason why you and Serena weren't connecting was because she wasn't giving you and what satisfied you sexually. That's what it's looking like to me.
Exactly.
And so you're the person that comments like, oh, there's other parts of a relationship. Yeah, I think she fulfilled
He gave
the
him
other parts
every other part. Every other part.
And the night before she left, she did like give her a little bit more.
Handsy, and making out.
And I actually when we talk about this episode, I have a link. I think I figured something out with what's going on too. Okay, so let's talk about episode 32. So it is the morning after the recoupling. Mimi returns from being ousted outside. I'm just like, it's so annoying that she has to say
was she
outside, like outside the room. Sorry, in a single bed, single room. Single bed.
That's not have made her sleep outside. I would have started writing letters.
Yeah, like the Ofcom.
Yeah.
Uma, Matilda, Grace are all chatting about how that Will said that it was like a boys' holiday, and Uma was like, he said that, which is also, it's really gross. And a lot of the comments, and I've also noticed, was that this whole lads holiday, like using these girls as just sexual toys to test to see if fucking them, you still want to fuck your girl. Like exactly. I don't think I'd want to be a Casa girl anymore, because it's not about that, just about them getting a better connection. It's to see whether or not sexually they give more than their original girl. And I think that's really gross, that's the expectation now.
Yeah.
And that Dea is getting praise for being more sexually forward because Serena is more sexually reserved. I think that it's really gross.
That's definitely the case with Uma and Serena, right? That was definitely why those two men did what they did. I think with Mimi, I think it's just that she's just not Ayo's type. He won't admit it. He continues to just think that, oh well, if I find my type, that everybody's going to be okay with me just moving to my type, Uma, now Jessica. But I agree that their whole thing is to find somebody who will have sex with them at some point in this whatever experiment, and whichever woman is going to be the most sexually forward. And my whole thing is, there's nothing wrong with that, but be fucking honest.
Stand on business. Be about it.
We might as well talk about what I was going to say, because it has to do with Uma and Mimi. So black women especially get sexualized, right? Hypersexualized all the time, right?
Absolutely.
And fetishized, and so say someone comes up to me and he's like, oh, I have somebody that you should meet, he loves black women. I'm like, no, that's not the type of person I want to get with. Like, I want someone that's just gonna love me for me and not love me because they are fetishizing me. So I'm thinking that Mimi and Uma, they're young still, yes, but they've experienced a form of like people only wanting to get with them sexually because they are beautiful black women and they want to hypersexualize them and have them sexually, but they don't want more from them. So I think they might have learned that, like, you know what, I don't want to give myself sexually too soon because of the fact that, like, hey, I've from my past experience, I've realized that people have not been fully wanting to get to know me more than sexually, because like that's what I've experienced so far. So I'm going to hold off and make sure that I build connections with these people beforehand, because I'm sick of feeling like I'm only valuable because of my body, and then I get chucked to the side because they don't have an emotional connection to me. They just want to have something sexual to me. And I think that that's actually what's going on between the both of them, because, or like, just like why they're being more sexually reserved, because they've had so many negative experiences, or even witness friends of theirs having negative experiences with being sexualized immediately into a relationship, and then not being treated like the number one, not being at, like, Uma said she's never been in a relationship. It's probably because she's had sexual occurrences, and they don't want to move it into a relationship because she's a Black woman, and so
Right.
they only will have
And
sex with her, and they don't want her to be the girlfriend.
and our theory is because of where she's from, and because of her background, she probably mostly have dated um either white presenting men or white men just straight out. And so that would actually make a lot of sense, right? That's what she keeps finding, and in every situation that she's having. And I definitely have said this myself, that it would be very difficult for me to date a white man unless they prove to me that dating a Black woman is not it's not vogue, it's not fetishizing. It's just they're attracted to me as a person.
Right.
Because like I've gotten liked by white men on dating apps, but then I go through your entire
Yes.
like
Yes. And it's like,
nothing
I don't
aligns
feel
with
like
my
I'm your
culture.
type.
Nothing aligns with my, and
Right.
I'm not even talking about my Jamaican culture, because that's a separate thing. Like,
Right.
Jamaican people will embrace everybody. We don't care about that. I just shared a thing that there's like a Jamaican festival in Japan, and it is like
Oh,
so
that's cool.
I know it's so cool to see, but we love to spread our culture everywhere. So I'm not even talking about being Jamaican. I'm talking about being Black. And a lot of Caribbean people sometimes don't embrace being Black first and then being Caribbean. But my parents, especially my dad, taught me, when you are in America, especially, you are Black.
Yeah.
And that culture is very important. And so if I'm looking through your thing and you have no Black friends, you have no people of color in your photos of you with groups of people, or like the stuff you're talking about, I'm like, now I've got to teach you culture. You've got to be comfortable with it, and then on top of it, being Jamaican, right? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And no.
It is a lot.
Mhm.
It is a lot. I've had that happen to me. Like, oh my goodness, the dog! Stop, the dog. The Amazon delivery guy is here. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. And so I actually feel bad for, because I think it's a slight form of racism, you know what I mean, that's going
Yes.
on within the villa, that we saw with them being like, um uh Janae had enough chances. She had enough people, and it's like, no, she hasn't had anybody that's actually
It's
interested in her.
Oh, but
microaggressive.
Rob
It's
hasn't had enough
microaggressive.
chances.
Yeah.
Rob hasn't had enough chances though, Aaron. And you claim it's not Friendship Island, but you begging for him to stay and crying like he is your husband of 5 years. Like, so what? It's just because she's Black. It's because she's Black, and she should accept what she gets, and she's gotten 3 chances, and now she can go home.
Yeah. I mean, and all the eye rolling Rob was doing last night behind everybody, mostly Serena talking, when he sat there and went on a whole ass rant. Him and Aaron went a whole ass rant. And if anybody had rolled their eyes during that stuff, he would have had a heart attack. So to sit there and act like Serena did not have a reason to, and I felt like she was pretty tame for what she could have done.
I know.
Exactly.
He
Exactly.
I
walked
know.
in
I was like,
the way he walked in.
I mean, I would have actually set the place on fire. I wouldn't have just set it in my ITM. Like, I would have torched the place.
Torched the place.
I mean, but I'm also someone that's like, I love fighting with words, and yeah, he would have been eviscerated.
Yeah.
Eviscerated. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about the whole Uma situation, because I actually feel bad that she, like, I think it is hard for her. It's hard for Serena. It's hard for a lot of Black women to put themselves out there to finding relationships, because they have to go through this barrier of not knowing whether or not people just want them sexually for their body, or if they want to have something more for him. Now, I'm not saying that that's what Cordell was doing, because we learned that Cordell does like Black women, but she still has that reservation, that that's what she's been taught, to, like, you know what, hold out from giving someone in that way until you know that they respect you completely physically, that they want to, be emotionally supportive of you and want you to build a relationships emotionally. And
Yep.
so I'm feeling bad for them because I think it's also with their nurture, like what they've grown up with in society, that's made them be so reserved with giving themselves in that way to men, and the fact that like they're getting such harsh judgment for it. It's very annoying.
And even worse, the minute that you do open up to these men, then they screw you over. Like that is what literally happened to both of them. It happened to Serena, and it happened to Uma, because she went further with Will than she did with any guy that she was coupled up with, because she genuinely liked him and genuinely could see something. And then for him to just be like, I'm on a lad's holiday and I'm going to throw all of that out the window just to see what I can see, is ridiculous with my type on paper. Like that. I think that's a cop out, to sit there and to see what you can see with your type on paper when you are with me. I'm not a type. I'm a person. Do you like me as a person? Do you want to be with me as a person? And chatting to another girl is one thing, and saying, oh, I kind of really like her. I really, want to get to know her because we actually have something in common, not just type. We actually have something in common that maybe it differs from what me and Uma would have. Keep talking to her. You know what me and Uma have will absolutely evolve way, way more than this.
It has nothing to do with blonde hair.
Right. And blue eyes. Right.
And petite.
Right.
Okay, so hold on. M here is saying, oh, sorry. Okay, so M first was just talking about seeing an interview that Bernie did. Shed a lot of lights on the producer. What did I say? Bernie?
Yeah, Bernie.
I meant to say Bernie. She wrote Bernie, and I meant to say Berkey.
Yeah.
Emma's also saying here, producers definitely tell the bombshells who to pull. Why else would Connor have taken Mimi on a date? I mean, Connor definitely wasn't interested in Mimi, but Mimi was in the most solid relationship at that point. I can't remember when that happened.
Well, yeah, but also he chose her for his dessert.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not like, I don't think it was that serious.
Ms. Love says, I feel like because these Black women are not their personal types, these guys wanted Janae out. They can't fathom anyone else wanting them. Absolutely. So these ladies need to accept what they are given or leave. Absolutely.
But that is the problem. That ultimately all comes down to producers and casting. And I get that men lie, but you need to go through these people's dating history. Show me all the last people you talked to. Show me the last people you've dated. Show me the last people you've had sex with. Are they dark-skinned Black women? Don't fucking tell me that you dated Black. You have no type. Fuck you with the no type. It's bullshit.
Right. It's bullshit. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, didn't you say that Connor said that him and Rob both wanted Janae at one point? Like, they like the same women. And I can't even imagine Rob. He was doing that as just to see. He does not like Janae.
No, I said that, but I said that Janae peeped it and she shut it down. Remember when he came and pulled her, hey, can we go for a chat? Sure, buddy, let's go. And then he was sitting there trying to chat her up, and she's like, so yeah, what about you and Leah?
Right.
Like, don't play that game with me.
Oh, when he was apologizing.
Yeah. Don't play that game with me.
I'm saying, right, they're treating Black girls like the new ice cream flavor, or a new flavor in the candy shop with Mr. fucking Sean.
Exactly.
Right? Sean had absolutely no intention of bringing her back, coupling her up, developing some sort of friendship with her. He literally just wanted to see what it was like to make out with a Black girl. No repercussions, no societal repercussions of like going out on a date with someone Black and having to deal with that. Like, none of that's going to be a bother. And your white girl Matilda is not going to have a problem with the Black girl because she's not going to feel threatened or intimidated, because there's absolutely no way that I'm actually more attracted to her than you. Like, so like, no, it's not going to be a problem. And it's so exactly. It's all pretty gross, and I feel very bad for these young women that are even further having it reinforced that they're not actually wanted or desired, and that they're only valuable for their body. And that really sucks. And it's really with the language that's being used for Serena about like, she won't give him anything, she gives him nothing. It's like,
The
Why?
only nothing
And they've
it has
had
to be
several
said.
kisses. They've had several kisses. I don't
They
even know
hold
what people are
hands.
talking about.
She was doing exactly what Di was doing. Had him laying in her lap, her laying in his lap, her sitting on his lap, her on top of him. I don't understand this. No, nothing.
And also, there's no laughter with him and Dea. Where's the laughter? Like, you see them joking around. They're doing like little dance moves together. They have their inside jokes. And I'm always saying, if you have inside jokes with somebody, you have a connection with them. Because that's like my favorite thing about friendships and relationships is having your own secret little language and secret little, like, you know, things that you only know, or like you can make an eye at something they don't, oh, I know exactly what she's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you know them so well because you have this little inside jokes and stuff like that. They have that. And he does not have that with Dea. Honestly, all he has is like an ass grab and her telling him that she's going to give him everything that he deserves. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Real eerie. Look at this. Miss Dreadful Ruby here is saying Serena and Cordell have had an awesome dynamic. They did, and we all said that. We're like, maybe like she's not can't get there sexually with him because it could be a lot of factors. But I think the main factor now, what I've come to terms with, is that she's probably been hypersexualized her whole life, and she doesn't like to start a relationship in that way. Even Patty Stanger from the Millionaire Matchmaker says no more than kissing like past the first date. Like, you have to get to like being in a relationship before you like give a blowjob or something like that. You know what I mean? She says that like you need to really take your time to get to know these people, so it's not starting off with a sexual connection, so that the women don't get immediately connected, because women get connected physically before men do. Mm-hmm. So like you have to allow them to have an emotional connection with you in order for you to create a lasting relationship. And so these guys just want to, you know,
we need to normalize waiting. What is the rush? Like, why is everybody like, oh, she didn't give him? Like, I'm amazed. I guess I must be in the minority because like me and my friend, nobody's giving up anything like in that short amount of time. So it's amazing to me that people think that so much should be happening in the bed and that people should be having sex by now and all this stuff. It's crazy to me.
It is crazy. M says, and she knew he actually wanted sex from the jump, but she let him break her walls down. Yeah, like she definitely was saying that she was moving his hands, like because he was getting kind of handsy, and she's like, no. But like that's it. People, how slow a woman goes with getting to somewhere sexually is her prerogative, in my opinion. She could take a year if she wants.
But do we agree, because we've had some of our subscribers say this, that people like Serena, people like Destiny, people like Uma should not come on the show, and if they come on the show and they can't move faster than what they're, because of what they're doing, they should.
So this is reality TV. It's not let's see who can fuck first. Like it's just a very different. Like if you want the premise to be like OnlyFans or whatever, like let's find the next OnlyFans couple. Like that should be it. It's not let's have sex on camera island. It's Love Island. So love connections come in all different forms. And I don't think that we should be segregating, like, that the only people that deserve to have love relationships on the show are the people that are willing to be sexually forward. I don't think I definitely do not think that.
I didn't either. That's why I'm just checking, because I'm just like, I don't understand why we can't show a variety of women and the way that they enter a relationship. Why is it just have to be these shows? Like, if that's the case, go to Too Hot to Handle. Too Hot to Handle is like people who really can't stop themselves and like watch that show. Like, that's not what we've been told the premise of this show is, or Love is Blind, or any of these like other romantic shows, even The Bachelor, Bachelorette. Like, it should not be like, oh, well, you didn't kiss me. But is that the point of the show? I thought the point of the show was for us to get to know each other. Now, if you need physical interaction in order to make a decision, you should have said that up front.
Right. But we don't focus on Kieran and Nicole kissing and making out all the time. They don't do that. We see them talking. That's the focus of their relationship. They're close. They're the number one couple. We see them peck. We don't see them making out. That's not even their focal point. Their focal point is like about them maybe falling in love and her insecurities, but it's the black woman that's, oh, she's not doing enough, like she's not
Exactly.
sexually doing enough.
And
Well,
then if she does,
to make her be able to get these guys on the show,
right,
right?
right. And then if she does, like
Will.
a Daya,
Okay. Oh, like sorry, yeah.
because I personally, I'm 40, but I'm telling you right now, even if I was 27 and single, I would not have been grinding on this man
Yes,
in
I was
the
never
first
like that.
2 to
Never.
3 days of
Maybe
being
I was drunk.
right. Or not in bed. I'm meaning really not in bed with pajamas on. Like not like it's one thing if you're give the guy you're interested in a lap dance, right? Like we've seen that when they play those games out in the villa
Right.
and on the day beds or on the next to the fire pit. Like that is different. And
Yeah.
then I think what she was doing, right? But
Absolutely.
then when you have women who do that, then it's like, oh, she looks crazy. How could she do that? So it's like you can't really win for losing, because when you are overtly sexual, people call you a hoe, people down on you. But and I'm not calling her a hoe. I'm just
No, I
saying
know.
I
Well,
think
no, just kidding.
yeah, I think I wish she had thought about it a little more, right? Like I really think like the bed situation. Like it was one thing if it was in a game and it was out in, because we've seen that multiple times on Love Island across a bunch of races. But were you that desperate, or were you that just not like have enough self-respect for yourself and the man that you're trying to get, to say, you know what, hold up, I appreciate Miguel for saying, you know what, we have to stop, and Sierra saying, yeah, you're right, we have to stop, because it will go too far. And it's like, can you not have self-control? You're 27.
That's the thing, is that I feel it must be that she only feels her value through her sexual prowessness. And so she's also learned the same lessons that I'm thinking that Mimi and Yuma and Serena have all learned, is that like men will only give them attention when they are hypersexual. So she's using it to her advantage in this way, but then she's going to learn that it's actually not enough.
It's not
right?
enough of an advantage
Yeah.
even in this show, because that's not the premise of this show. That
Like
would
the other
work.
girl, what's her name? What's the girl's name? That Kenny chose. Like her. Like, let me use my lips, Catherine. Yes, let me use my kisses, and I can sway him, and he'll take me back. That was a sexual. It wasn't as advanced, but she knew sexually she needed to do something. Like, I need to kiss him and go over there and show him my abs and do this, so he can take me back, so they're using it to there are some that have to use it to their advantage to try to get what they want.
But that's also, I think, that's what made we're seeing it in the UK, we're seeing it now in the US. That is what these people have made Casa more about, rather than actually delving in and finding the better connection in Casa Amor. And it literally ended season 6, Love Island UK. That was the last time a bunch of people went into Casa Amor, I feel like, with the correct intentions, and came out with the correct actions that was supposed to happen. A bunch of people came out with actual connections, and those people stayed together for a long time. I think Eva and Nas might even still be together out of those couples. And so but we had Priscilla and Mike, we had Molly and God, why can't I ever remember his name, the guy who was just on All Stars, Callum. Yes, Callum, right? And even at the expense of the couples that they were in, whether strong or not really strong, they were like, no, I cannot leave this person. And Priscilla didn't give up nothing to that man. Priscilla didn't give shit to that man. Same with, did they? Okay.
It broke up.
Yeah, well, then they broke up within the last 6 months, because
they were together for like 3 years, so
yeah. So, like, my point is, they actually came out with connections that ended up really being the stronger connection, because when they took it outside, they stayed together.
Right.
So
here is saying that everyone should be allowed to build their connections and relationships however they are comfortable doing it. Being sexual shouldn't be the standard. But the thing is, though, that people start getting measured sexuality versus emotional connection.
Exactly.
And sexuality is more obvious, and people think that it's a little bit more valued. It's like we put more weight and more value on the sexual, physical connection, but there's all these other connections that someone else might have. But the audience, the Facebook audience, doesn't think that they're valuable enough. They need, it's only the sexual connection that is worthy, which is really frustrating. And yeah, it's disheartening for sure.
It is.
Em says, as a woman in my late 20s, I couldn't do that either, especially with a guy so young.
Yes, that was my whole point. People are like, oh, you're mad that he found a better connection. I was like, did he find a better connection? Because I'm not seeing it. And to me, like, the way she talks to him is like, it's not a connection. It's like a mother.
Right.
It's definitely like somebody that knows that she could use her sexual prowess to be able to sway this man. Like, it's not, we saw the kiss was able to sway Kenny or make him have doubt.
Right.
Like having somebody grind on you and you haven't been grinding on in like, you know, a month or whatever.
Right.
And we hear like Rob being like so needing to like jerk off. Like, they're just all so sexually frustrated in this villa. And that like,
and it's crazy because my whole thing is, why would you want these men then? Because that means that they can't go, if you're long distance, they can't go time without having sex.
Yes,
if you guys are traveling, they can't go long times without having sex. Why would you want that?
I don't want that. That's a character flaw. That is concerning. That does not make me want to trust you. I can't trust you across the street. Like I said last night, I definitely can't trust you in another state, in another country. It's a wrap.
It's so weird. You're welcome. Call me Dora. I think it's just something as a viewer, it just really frustrates me because I want to see everybody succeed in love. We all want the love story here, and it's really tiresome to see that the Black and brown people of color do not get to have these love stories because they're hypersexualized.
But they're not valued.
And they're not able to, that's all that they're worth on the show is how willing they are to be sexual, because nobody really wants them for a relationship. And so it's just it breaks my heart because they're all way too beautiful to not have everybody be clamoring for them. But instead they're feeling like they're only worthy if they are sexual. And it's really unfortunate. Dreadful is saying, I'm perfectly fine with whatever people want to do with their bodies. I just think it's wild to think that it's how a healthy, sustainable relationship starts.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be fair. There are many people who start and have sex the first date or first night, and that's fine. It definitely happens. People meet each other, have sex, and then they're married for 20 years. And it happens. My thing is, for this show, it has never worked out that you come on here and be sexually forward first,
right? Not
get to know the person, and you guys last. It just hasn't happened ever.
What about Cassie and Leo? I'm just trying to remember their relationship because they were pretty sexual.
Yeah, but they even
but they were together and then they got together.
That's what I'm saying. They started out friends. They started by getting to know each other, and then it was sex. So it's not even first. And then he even screwed it up with sex.
Yeah.
Leo. Shardy says, and these same women are going to be crying, saying no one cares about my feelings. You didn't lead with your feelings and emotions. You led with sex. And of course, these boys aren't concerned about that. Absolutely. Right. And that's what's going to happen to Miss Dea is that she's going to be crying, because I think it's because her advances aren't working and he's not allowing her to be sexual in the villa with Serena seeing it. And she's going to feel as though she was used, or she isn't valued anymore, that he's not willing to connect with her anymore because they didn't build anything else. And so she's going to be upset about it.
He's going to miss his friends because they were friends before anything. And she was also the person he hung out with the most. He is not going to know what to do.
I know. That's what I was saying. I'm like, both him and Aaron are going to be probably the most hurt in this situation. I think like Kayla's going to be hurt. Serena's going to be hurt. Dea's going to be hurt. Cordell's going to be hurt. Aaron's going to be hurt. And Daniela, I don't think is going to be hurt at all.
The pass around, the
Yeah,
pass
for
around.
her, for her and Rob hopefully get dumped because they both are wasting space in that villa.
Yes.
To be fair.
M says, and just like everyone has been pointing out, Kaylor was doing it all with Aaron, and he's still strange. Serena's giving Cordell more, would just made Dea go further, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like somebody said last night, would she just straight out have had sex with him to trap him? Because like if she gets pregnant, then
She's in.
she's
in the
in
family.
to the family. And if we're, I mean, because based on what we're seeing, it does kind of feel like that's what she's trying, like, because he's celebrity adjacent.
Ms. Love, bang on. Ms. Love says these younger girls are going to fall into the Arabella trap, leading with sexuality and then continuing to get hurt over and over again.
And we've seen it with her across 2 shows, and it's not working for her.
What did we say? Sexuality is not a personality.
We still need to make T-shirts. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I mean, it happened with Trina, happened with Arabella, it happened with Johnny last season. It just, I mean, and this is a mix of that was an OG girl, that Arabella was a bomb, and Johnny was a Casa girl. Again, the MO does not work. The MO doesn't work.
And Diane needs to wake up, and girls like her, and anyone. Do you think that Odell sends him a check like he gets some of his millions of dollars in the contract? I mean, he's off playing. Do you think he gonna pay y'all mortgage or something?
I
y'all
think
get
that
married and buy y'all a house and a car.
Huh? She wants to be invited to the cookout. She wants to be at the tailgate. She wants to be.
There are some people who are just celebrity adjacent is fine for them. I literally have gone on trips with celebrities, and I've seen how women act and react when these people nor their like people around them pay them any attention, and it's scary, guys. It's very scary.
Like I definitely I work as an actor. I'm around celebrities all the time. My friends are around celebrities all the time, and there's one of my best friends, she's pretty Canadian famous for sure, and like she's been on some shows that are pretty successful in America as well, and so she has a pretty big fan base, and a woman contacted me to get a hypnosis session because she knew that I was friends with my friend, and she's like, can you just like give her a hug for me, and like can you please tell her that I love her, I think she's like wanting me to send messages to my friend, and like still, and I'm like, they've never met before. I'm like I mean, she is great, absolutely, but like you've never met her before for you to be crying over my friend who you've just seen on TV shows. It's like it is wild to me. I mean, obviously we live in an idolization type world where like we put people on pedestals because we see them often. So I kind of understand a little bit as to why that happens, but it's shocking to me that people can so easily allow themselves to be so enamored by somebody that they've never met before. Yeah, I guess like I don't know, like it gives them. I don't know. I don't understand it. Actually, I don't. A little bit, but not very much. Okay, let's talk about this episode a little bit more. So Sean has mixed emotions about like what has gone down, and he's talking with Sean, with Will and Io, and I just said all the 3 assholes are all hanging out together. Sean doesn't want Matilda to find out about Ruby and Diamante, and Io doesn't want to talks about the connection that he had with Jess. He doesn't want like it to be fully understood. I'm just like, why don't you guys want to be honest about the connections that you're having? Like, Sean, if you're having connections with Diamante, why can't you be open with Matilda about it? Right? Why are you making it secretive? And Sean, he was grossed me out so much this episode.
Yeah. So much. Him and Will, but Sean mostly. Him and Will.
We got to see Will's true colors. Absolutely.
And I will say, I'm actually rating Trey more and more.
No, I don't like Trey, but
I'm like after this episode.
Yeah, I didn't like the way he did her. Like,
she's crazy. Do you like what we're talking about? That's her, Ellie.
wanting to leave with sexuality?
No. What we're talking about, trying to get close to somebody and using other
Oh,
people. That's
well,
her.
you think she's trying to get close to Kieran?
I think that she came in for Kieran and that he paid her no attention. Now she's trying to torpedo his relationship, and then she used Trey to get into the villain.
I mean, I guess I could see that, but I guess because I don't like
still didn't like
Kieran,
the way
I
Trey
don't
was
falter.
talking to her though. I think both things can be true. Both things can be true.
He clearly sees what she's
ahead of
doing.
They're all gross.
Mimi is hurt because and she feels like, you know, her and Io is done. It's done. And she's talking with Jess and Nicole, and I'm like, oh, don't talk to Jess and Nicole. Like,
oh my
I feel
God.
like
I
they're
said the same
so
thing.
like happy that this couple is like not working because they were strong and they were being saved by the public, and you know, I think that they were just like secretly happy about it.
Oh, I hope they are so secretly happy when they found out that she is not vulnerable at the next vote because she was single, and they are.
But they're gonna get through, which is annoying.
Yeah, I know.
So, but they're gonna be by her side. We're gonna be by your side. You know, we're gonna be there with you. And
they weren't even by her side the night before, but whatever.
Exactly.
Uma gets a text. Her and Melinda are going to have a catch up with Lucy and Diamante. You know, Will and Sean are looking panicked. It's like eye roll.
But this is my thing. You literally just had a conversation with Io and Will and whoever else was sitting there on the beanbags, and you could have told them. You could have had a full, transparent conversation before this. That whatever you and your girls went to go say to these two women would have meant nothing. But you couldn't do that, could you?
Exactly.
Because they don't know what they're going to actually share. So they would rather, we heard that they would rather ask for forgiveness than permission. And so, like, if they're divulging too much information, like, they might be admitting to more than they need to.
I.e., Aaron, what did you see? What did you see? What
did you see? Me off so much, too. And the fact that she told him, I'm like, shh.
Right.
Use your power. Information is power. You need to stay zip and let him admit to shit, not snow you for everything. So Uma and Lucy chat, and she's just like, tell me everything. Uma feels like a mug with what she's saying about the fact that she's his type on paper, that he feels that he has more of a connection with her in the couple of days than he has with Uma since the week that they spent together or whatever, and that's where I was just was like, so were they being even more handsy in bed with their kisses in bed for him to be like, we're getting closer? Because they didn't have that much of a connection. They didn't talk about anything interesting. Like, she wanted to get into the villa, so she was just like, yeah. Like, what was the connection? Because I feel like they did, like Uma and Will. I liked them together. You didn't like them before?
I did before. I liked them together before. I mean, I've changed my opinion of him now, but before I did like them together. But I think they did get more handsy in bed. I think they did. I think
did not see it. I did not like them before because I was very suspect of him, and my suspicions were correct. I did say though that I could tell that she very much liked him because, like I said, she moved a lot more, not sexually forward, but she just like moved like
they started being more coupley.
I didn't even think it was like at a faster pace. I think it was a generally relatively normal pace for someone that you actually like. So I do feel like he was given the proper speed and rate of a regular relationship, which makes me side eye everything that he's done.
Yeah, of course. Lucy also implied that he implied that he was going to be picking her in the recoupling. And so Uma's obviously really upset by this. Then Matilda, we see her apologizing for how she was acting at the recoupling. So I was happy that she at least recognized that she was being a dick. And Giovanna's like, he's been busy. She's a little firecracker, which I enjoyed her not holding back. She went all in, and she's not scared of Matilda. Matilda is, yeah. But she calls Sean an asshole. It's giving asshole prick. That's like, you're correct.
She read him correctly to
Yes.
me. Yep.
And so Diamante was saying that he had me and Ruby on the go. I was his priority, is what he said. There was a lot of kissing, she also said, and Matilda is just shocked because this is not what Sean has been presenting. This is not
Absolutely
who he said that he was and what he was doing over there. Yes, hi Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi,
Hello,
Sophie.
hello. So Will, back at the villa, hopes that Uma will see the light. What light do you think that Uma will be seeing?
That he chose her, and
he
she should just focus on that. That's what they want. I chose to just stay with you, and you should focus on that and not worry about what I was doing. That's the light to let it go.
What did they say? What did Kendall say? He said, "Forgive and forget." Hope they forgive and forget.
Yeah.
That's
all of their MOs right now. Everybody in both villas, both shows. Hopefully they all forgive and forget because we chose them.
Well, the audience is not on that same page. They're not. Audience is not going to forgive and forget. So that's who I know that all of them are pandering towards in the end. And so yeah, I'm not going to forget any of this.
But I do think the ones that stayed, that's why they played around and stayed. For some reason, USA does not get that that memo.
Oh, play around and stay?
Yes.
Well, I think I think what happens with them, anyways, this season, is that they fooled around, and them fooling around made them not as secure in their relationship. Because, like, well, if I could do it, maybe they could do it. And I think that that's where the blocks fell, everything crumbled. And so I think that if they'd stayed loyal, they would have stayed loyal. And the fact that you expect other person's doing what you're doing, right? You're like, well, if I'm doing it, they must be doing it, and so like I'm gonna retaliate. And that's actually not the case. They should have gone before they started fooling around with people. Where were you feeling? How were you feeling about that relationship?
Exactly.
And use that as your barometer as opposed to changing the dynamic.
Absolutely.
I agree, Dreadful Ruby. Matilda did owe a better apology. I was happy that she at least said something, because I didn't think that she was going to, because with the amount of vim that she was giving Diamante for being asked a question by the host, I was like, okay, you're rude. Hi Netha says, I really hope Uma leaves him. I'm not sure.
I don't think she will. She likes that guy, unfortunately.
She's gonna try to make him like graft her or beg or whatever, but she's not gonna leave.
Well, I mean, I hope that he really goes all in. Like, could you think that it could have this Sophie Josh arc, Mika?
Josh has more risk.
Facts. Netha says Katsamore needs to be changed because the girls get the short end of the stick. Absolutely. I don't know how they can make it better, but it would be nice for there to be better consequences. Well, hopefully, what we're hoping for is what they're doing this season in the UK is that the single people are immune from this vote of compatibility. And so to know that all the people that twisted here in the USA and US anyways, a lot of them are going to be vulnerable. They're going to be in these new couples with these new people that don't have the audience favor. Maybe that is going to make them worried about losing their position in the villa because, like, they're in an unstable couple, and the person that they should have coupled up with, that they would have been safe with, is single and immune. So hopefully that's what they do, and they realize, like, oh, this isn't the way to win the show.
Right.
Maybe that might help it a bit.
So all the RHAP game bots are on Twitter complaining that the girls chose to be single last night, and they felt like they should not have gotten that choice. Kirsten, Brian, Brian, Corey Wertenberger, all of them are like, it's not fair that they got to stay single. They should have had to couple up with no, they did the right thing, because all those guys would have done is stay in the villa and dump them. What's the point in doing that? It was perfect, because you know what? Now the show has to change the show, and it better not be you forcing these women to couple up with the bullshit bombshells y'all sent in. Y'all sent in bombshells for the guys and you sent in
Shells.
buds for the girls. Don't do that
Exactly.
shit again. And also stop allowing these men to go that far in Casa Amor.
Right.
I mean, I loved the fact that everybody stayed single. I was like, I was hoping for it. I'm like, because if you choose somebody else, it just loses the impact completely in the fact that they wanted to couple up with their guy, but they know that their guy is a piece of garbage, and they wanted
Right.
to prove a point. I think
Right.
that they should have an option to stay single, right?
Yes, I think it was perfect. I think because didn't
And
Olivia?
actually, that's how the whole season's always been. Like, if
Yeah.
you don't want, you want to stay single, like that is also should be your priority. Like, why do you need to couple up with someone that you're not
Yeah.
interested in if it's a love show?
No,
Exactly.
and now this they have a problem because literally you're strategically the women have put it on the production to fix this because you
Exactly.
just allowed every couple, strong or not, to get blown up because of your actions as
Right.
producers in producing the BS that you're giving us. Send in men who like black women, send in men who want to actually be in relationships, and send in men that look good. So at the end of the day, this on production, that's not on these women. Yeah, I
Right.
was annoyed. I woke up and I was scrolling and I saw all these people from RJP, and I'm like, first of all, Corey, I'm sure you're only watching it because America's making you watch it. Be quiet. You don't know. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like
Right.
these new
No
viewers.
way.
But Brian and Kirsten have covered the show before.
They are
They should
covering
know
it now.
better.
I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like
That you guys should
shocked.
know better. This is like strategically what they did was actually smart because
Exactly.
all four of them are in the same place and they are all
Exactly.
the main people of the show. What are you going to do now, producers? Screw your
Exactly.
show?
Exactly.
God, I'm
That's
still trying to
impact.
find.
This
Well,
kind
she
of
does
shit.
say give Serena the Cheez-It sponsorship. I thought that's
Who
funny.
said that?
Kirsten.
Kirsten. She responded to Corey's message about them not they shouldn't have been able to stay single. And then I think Brian said the same thing.
I don't see it right off the top, but
Yeah.
I'll look later.
Yeah.
That's annoying because like I think that they did the best thing possible. I think it is the most strategic possible.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
I think it's the guys did not expect them to make that decision. I think it
Nope.
gave them the power to like, hey, like yeah, you may have thought that you could act that way, but I'm not just gonna take you back. I'm gonna stay single because fuck you. Like
Yeah.
that's the
Exactly.
risk that you wanted to take. I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And like, why does they need to couple up with someone that they don't like? I don't actually understand that.
Or that
Anyways.
they like full on disrespected them in their
Exactly.
coupling. Like I don't understand that.
Yeah, why they can't
It's
take a stand
odd.
on like I'd rather be single than paired up with these people.
That
Right.
means that women, you're basically saying that women should have no choice and no autonomy in this, which I think is fucked up.
And they have to be in a relationship with a guy in order for you to feel that they're
Exactly.
like worthy of
Exactly.
being in the villa.
Yeah,
Exactly.
weird, very weird.
I'm shocked, to be honest. Ayo asked Jess what's up, and Jess is bringing her little violin, like, oh, the girls don't want to talk to me, and like, you know, like with everything that's going on, like she thinks that her and Mimi could be really good friends, but like, and I'm just like, girl, you chose this life.
I
Yep.
was like, all right, between you and Io, the audacity
The audacity.
to
They
be
have more in
upset
common. They have more in
that
common.
she and you will not be besties and sharing bikinis because you took her man, which was your intention. You set out to do this. You could have went after anybody else and just happened upon her, man. You literally said you are dreaming. You are thinking of yourself with one person, and that person was Io. So, girl, you got the man. You're gonna have to live with that.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And then I guess she thought she wasn't gonna feel the coldness from the other girls too, because she's like, you know, and the other girls too, like Everybody's just
Because I'm sure the men treated her like perfectly, like nothing was ever going to be different when all the girls came in, and then now she realizes, oh wait, no, they're all gonna hate me.
Yeah,
right.
like I know people say it's not Friend Island, but it
It
is to a
is.
certain extent a bit of Friend Island because you need to have the girls on your side if you want to stay in the villa, if you know, in certain situations. So, yeah, you chose the guy over the
The
girls in
girl,
here.
basically.
I mean, it's the only way for you to get into the villa, or you could have maybe tried somebody else, but I don't think it would work because they don't like black women. But
Well,
this is
she could have had Connor and gotten in that way, because Connor
Connor.
was interested in her. No,
was
Connor
he?
wasn't. Yeah, he was very interested in her. To be fair, he
Well,
straight.
he's Io is happy with his decision, and they end up kissing.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm sure he is. I said that. I said Io's going to be indignant for that he made the right decision, and it's not his fault because this was the right decision. And to be fair, it might be the right decision. I'm not even sure it wasn't the right decision. I mean, they do seem to have something or whatever, but again, that doesn't mean that you weren't disingenuous
Right.
and disloyal, and you that you should have everybody be your friend, and Mimi be like, oh yes, you're right, I'm so sorry that you're going through this and that you feel this way.
mm-hmm.
Right.
So Mimi, Jesse, and Nicole are watching all this happen, like this conversation with Io and Jess. And Mimi's just like, it was fake, bro. It was fake.
Right.
And they're kind of convinced her that it wasn't fake, but she's just like, it's giving
It's
fake.
giving that.
It's
It's
giving
giving
fake.
fake.
And I wish these people would stop trying to turn her mind from what she understands is the truth. It's giving fake, and it is fake, and she is absolutely reading this correctly. We on the outside saw it and knew it, and I wish somebody in there could tell her, no, you're right. I wish somebody with some more discernment could tell her, no, you're right, you're reading it absolutely correct. And but it's like they want her to get back with him or fight for him, and I don't feel like she should.
I really hope
Absolutely
she doesn't.
not.
I really hope she doesn't. They also want her to. They want to know whether or not she's going to talk to Jess, and she's like, "Well, I'll talk to her, but I'm not going to be best friends with her."
Friends with
Like,
her.
Right.
And I think that's fair.
why does she need
Absolutely.
to be friends with her?
I don't
She
know.
doesn't. She doesn't. She doesn't have to be friends with her.
So Ellie and Nicole have a conversation, and so Ellie's like mad, as you said, that Kieran wasn't completely honest with Nicole about their interaction, and like obviously, yeah, I think she wanted a storyline, and this is what she's bringing to the table, and it wasn't really brought out into the open at Casa Amor. He kind of shut it down, but I'm curious as to whether or not maybe he's shutting it down is because he wants to keep things like his relationship with Nicole, so he's downplaying everything. Like I'm curious about that because the 120 bodies, like I could see him definitely being someone that is active in someone's DM, sending the dog photos on Snapchat, all that stuff. Like I could see him doing that and then completely being like, oh, I don't remember you, and completely downplaying it because he doesn't want to upset Nicole. So as much as Ellie, yes, she's using this as a storyline to get into the villa, and maybe she really liked Kieran and was upset that he wasn't giving her any attention or me creating a storyline with her. I don't know. But I could also see Kieran being someone that is downplaying this interaction.
Absolutely.
She
Because I think it
downplayed
was
the
months. And the thing,
interaction.
huh?
She downplayed the interaction. She downplayed the interaction when they were at the fire pit. Oh yeah, we just messaged back and forth. It was nothing. She said that. Now she's twisting her story.
I mean, but her story hasn't really, like, I don't remember that part of her saying that.
She said it wasn't anything serious. And I think she's maintained that. Nicole came to her and said, I want to hear everything. I want to know. And she said, we messaged for months. The reason why people like to message on Snapchat, because the stuff disappears. There's no really proof.
Trail.
But when she was talking to Kieran, he did not deny that it had been months, over a span of months. She didn't say how, like, that they were like, oh, I like you so much messages. She said they messaged for months. And she said that she saw him out one night. So I
Well,
don't know
I
how
think that
it's
what she's
changed.
upset about is the fact that he's saying that, oh, he doesn't remember any of these messages. Oh, he doesn't remember bumping into her. I think that that's where she's getting kind of irritated, because I think that, yeah, okay, so if she said, hey, yeah, like we messaged for a few months, it wasn't super serious, it wasn't whatever. Okay, maybe she said that, but he's pretending like he doesn't know who she is. And I think that
Is
that's
he
where
pretending, or he doesn't, or she was that insignificant that he doesn't know who she is?
I
I'm
think that
telling you, men do it all the time. He
But
didn't
he
fuck
knew
her.
who she
He
was, and
doesn't
he
care.
recognized her when she
he
came in the
recognized
villa.
her.
Mika, he knew who she was.
No,
He
what I'm saying
texted
is,
him.
was it significant enough for him to be like, oh yeah, we did all of that? Like
No,
you're
but
making it.
he said that she just doesn't remember her. He's saying like, oh, doesn't I see? I think that she's just irritated that he's like acting like he doesn't know who she is, and be like, no,
Yeah, that is why she's irritated. And I think he's irritated because Nicole is so insecure that he can't even own up to what it is, because he feels like he can't give Nicole any kind of anything to be mad about. So he's trying to downplay it because he knows Nicole is going to go off the rails and he doesn't want to deal with that.
I just find it funny that she initially downplays it and now all of a sudden it's a big deal.
But I think it's because she was asked, because Nicole was asking her for details as to like exactly what happened. And so the fact that like she's brought in for details and he wasn't being completely clear with what actually happened and saying like he doesn't know who she is and all that stuff, I just kind of think that it's because Nicole was prodding and was asking for more, that she's recognizing that Kieran wasn't being fully transparent and honest. But Dreadful says, even if Ellie's telling the truth, it's just not so serious and not worth making Nicole spiral. I get why Kieran wouldn't want to tell her all the details. I mean, Kieran and Nicole, that whole relationship is really irritating. So
it's very irritating.
So any storyline around it is annoying. Okay, so Nicole. Well, Ellie also does say that she's surprised that his head didn't turn, because the way that he moved in the real world, which I could also see that if
120 people, your head turns a lot in the real world. So
maybe she thinks that he's being fake and he's playing a game, because like this is not the energy of the person that she saw outside the villa. Maybe he's a changed man. Sure, Nicole's changed him, but I can see her being like, he's lying here.
She met him once. I don't know, like I don't know.
Yeah, she met him once when he was out, and she probably saw his head turn while he was out 20 times. So she probably just
turned to her. Yes. I mean, I'm sorry.
No. I don't think it's a bad thing. If he's young, he's single, his head can turn. I think she's just making an observation, like, because she told her he was true to you in this villa. He wasn't talking to anybody. But on the same hand, I was very surprised by that, because that's just not how he is outside of here. So he must have really changed for you. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. It's like, I knew him before in here, and his head was always turning, but in here his head didn't turn. So I was just surprised.
But that's what I'm saying. How is it that she knew him?
I mean, if they were messaging over
social media,
over months, and
you don't know his friends, you haven't hung out with
that's
him.
not true. She said that her friends, they're in the same friends group,
and
that they have mutual
friends.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I can see, like, I know a mutual friend of yours.
She knows his friend. She knows.
I've only met them in person once, but I can see how they've been moving with my friends.
And that gives you carte blanche to say that you are you know exactly how a person would move.
No, she didn't say that she knew. She said, like, I was surprised from how I've seen him move in the real world. I was surprised that he was.
I agree with Shanice here. She's mad that she was not one of the 120. I'm sorry.
Fine that she's mad about that, but
and both of those things could be true. I could be surprised that his head didn't turn, and I could also be mad that I'm not one of the 120. These things, both of these things can be true. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Ms. Brown thinks that Ellie doesn't know the man, and she's being messy for messy's sake. But I think she knows the man, and she's being messy, like, because she wants to have a storyline. So I think that she knows him more than Nicole knew him beforehand. She's seen him out. She's interacted with him for months on end. She has friends that have known him and have interacted with them. he admitted that he knew who she was, but completely downplayed who she was. And I think she completely downplayed who she was because he knows that she has an idea of how he moves in the real world. That's what I think. I think that he
And
was just trying to say like, oh, let's make her look crazy because it's so easy to make the woman look crazy and messy and then it's going to distract me from being able to be seen that like, yes, I was being a player and I was bouncing around and like I wasn't being like this loyal boyfriend that I've been in the villa.
I don't think he made her look crazy.
I know my friends' friends. I know my friends' friends, and I know my friends' coworkers, and I have opinions about the coworkers because I know all these stories of things that they've done. 100%. So she's telling me a story, and I'm like, I'm surprised Jonathan even let the supervisor talk to him like that because I have heard these stories about Jonathan, and I know how Jonathan moved at work. Like because I know people who know Jonathan, even though I've only met him at the Christmas party twice. Like, it's okay to like say, I'm surprised that this happened. Like,
I agree. I've been in this similar situations before where I know something about someone that I've never met before. So Nicole is worried about Kieran, of course, and then Nicole pulls Kieran to the fire pit, and so she wants to know what actually happened to Ellie on the outside, blah, blah, blah. He can't remember. He doesn't know what happened. He doesn't know who she is. And Nicole's going on and on and on and on and on. Now Kieran is pissed at Ellie, and Kieran pulls Ellie to have a chat, and she's like, well, you don't remember anything. And he's like, oh, shut up, you donut, and like walking off and telling her to shut up. So to me,
I don't like how he talks to women.
To me, that says that she has to like to stand on, and the only way that he can like deal with it is tell her to shut up, call her names, and walk off. I think it's it's I don't know. It's sus. It's sus.
This is a different take, but I don't like the way Kieran talks to women. I don't like the way he does that. The same way he talks to Harriet.
Chantele has said it a couple of times.
Yeah, the way he talks to Harriet and stuff. Like if you don't agree with him and he doesn't care if you're a woman, the way he talks to these women, I don't like. And to me, I don't understand why it's not a red flag for someone you're dating and how they interact with other women. Like that is crazy to me that these women don't think it's a problem. Like I would be like, who are you talking to like that? You don't talk to a woman like that.
He's probably what does Katie call it? Running a train through all these women in in the UK, and I think that Ellie just knows about his past. But we could agree to disagree. So the line ruined it. Nicole goes back into this like complaining, obviously, about the situation. Grace, her face was just like. She just like had no response to Nicole just like whining about this Kieran situation. It didn't seem like she cared at all. But Nicole feels like the lie has ruined it for now. Pardon?
I mean, I can imagine you spent your entire thing on Casa Amor having a heart attack about what he did. You come back here, you find out he did nothing, and now you're talking about messages he had with some insignificant ones, in my opinion, with somebody on the outside that he probably had millions of messages with a million people on the outside. So what is your point?
I agree. I would be tired of her complaining too. I'm tired of hearing her mouth, period, if I was them. I just see it for an hour every day. I know they tired of it. So
the ladies seem very done with Nicole's nonsense. I mean, if we're just complaining about the fact that Ellie is making Nicole complain about something, that's a different thing. But I think that she might have a leg to stand on, especially if Nicole's asking her what's actually happened. Like Nicole was searching for that information, and so
she's always searching for something.
If Ellie is giving honest information, like why does Ellie need to be lying for Kieran? Why does Ellie need to be like downplaying, Kieran and hers interaction? Why does she need to be downplaying what she's heard about Kieran if somebody is directly asking her about it? I don't know. I don't know.
You could not get involved.
But if you're asked a question on a show. Like, I don't know.
She was asked the question initially, and she downplayed it initially. I don't understand coming back around and then ramping it back up. That's my point. I'm gonna take you at face value. If you be disingenuous to me initially, and then now all of a sudden things are getting twisted, I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy. I'm sorry.
It doesn't bother me that much. Like, it's annoying, but it's like I can understand if someone annoying is coming to you and like asking you for more information, giving her more information. I don't know. So Uma and Matilda are talking, and they called the girls to the fire pit just to let them know how these situations went down with Lucy and Diamante. And Uma's just really upset. She's telling all the girls that she can't really look at him right now. And Matilda wants to know who the hell goes to Casa Amor and gets in a triangle. Which is true. Which is very, very true.
Just so weird.
We see Will and Sean snickering, like overhearing them, and I'm just like, it was just so gross. Seeing Sean's face,
so immature.
Like, he was so excited to be like part of this like conversation that he's like a lad, and he's like has all these girls like talking about him, and I'm just like, those are not my fave. Everybody's getting ready for the night. Joy makes a toast. It's a new beginning to new connections and staying out of trouble. Jessica pulls Mimi for a chat, and she's only really worried about their friendship. But I'm just like, can't you just rest? Just rest. Like, we're not going to be friends for now. Like, maybe once he does the same thing to you, maybe we'll be friends later. Or maybe when he drops you and like tries to get back with me, then maybe you'll want to be friends with me then.
Right.
Probably not.
Probably will.
You think that Jessica, like when Ayo jumps back to Mimi, you think that Jessica's going to want to be with Mimi?
We've seen it time and time again. Summer, we see it happen. It happens. My whole thing is she's not entitled to your friendship, or you're not entitled to her friendship. Absolutely. Especially not now.
And so Jessica says to Mimi like that she's even told him that he should have made it clear to her that there was something missing, that there was something that was different. That
how are you throwing your man under the bus?
Well, because I don't think she wants to look bad, and she's realizing that Aya looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sean pulls Matilda, and he's like, I'm a bit nervous here. And she's like, we should be. And then he's like, it gave me clarity. I let off a lot of steam. Like, you're gross.
Ew.
You let off a lot of steam. You're like a kid in the candy store. Like, you're so gross to me.
Gross.
Ew. I wrote down ew too, actually. And I wrote down, what did she say? Oh, him asking her, what did she say? So what did Diamante say? What did she say? What did she say? No, what did you do, Sean? Right. What did you do? Right.
Is there something we should be worried about that she said?
Yeah, what did she say? So we do see Will trying to pull Uma from, like, she was sitting with a group of girls, and she does say later and walks off. And then Nicole was like kind of snickering, and Kira notices like, why is Nicole snickering over that? And I'm like, Nicole's snickering, I think, to make Uma look like she's being even more of a bitch than she actually was. You know what I mean? Like, saying things about Will, because I'm like, why was Nicole snickering?
I don't get it.
I don't like Nicole. I don't like Jess.
Which Jess?
The original Jess, the OG Jess.
I mean, new Jess is just dumb. I'm sorry. I hate to call somebody dumb, but
yeah.
So Sean does go and talk to OG Jess, and OG Jess is a snake. She is a snake.
Yes, she is. She's still mad at Matilda for talking to Hugo. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's the worst kind. She grimy.
Yeah, she's like, she would have got to know Hugo if she could have.
She could have. She could have.
She chose not to.
She chose not to.
I said to you guys that I wish she had brought him back. This is the reason she would have so deserved it. Jess would have been so pissed.
Kate says, literally reinforcing the disgusting way that boys treat Casa, and how they look at the Casa girls. Trash behavior. This is about Sean. Exactly. It's so gross. Yeah. Jess is a hater. Hater. Yeah. Jessica says, Jess never rests. When will we be free of her?
No, I tweeted it, and I said it in on IG. Them allowing Jess to be saved by Trey, who she should thank, has gotten to her head. She must think that they're like,
They voted for her to stay.
I think she thinks that because they allowed Ronnie and Harriet, who I mean,
go,
it's
that
obvious
she won
that
and that she's more liked by the
Right.
producers.
Right.
No, hopefully it's because they want to just like get her dumped in the most embarrassing of ways. Hopefully.
Please dump her on Sunday.
Please.
Trey or Troy. She's rude. She's rude with that slip up.
She's rude.
Yeah, so when she was talking to Sean, I was just like, you're so rude. Like,
Yep.
you know, being like, you didn't do anything wrong. You just exploring your connections. And she's like, she also was doing something wrong. So, like, you know, it's not tit for tat, but, you know, you have that on her. And I was like, not a fan.
But she wasn't kissing anybody.
No, she had one conversation with the guy that you were coupled up with and you flew to.
2 women are going to talk to this woman after the show. Nicole and Uma.
And Uma.
That's it.
I hope Uma stops. I hope she realizes
I don't
that's
think
not
she
her
will.
friend.
She will not. I don't think she's that kind of person. But that by like no woman, after seeing how she moves, how she talks to people, how she treats people, she's poisonous. They're not going to talk to this woman ever again.
Kira and Nicole talk again. I have nothing to hide, says Kira. Nicole is still pissed, blah, blah, blah. Ellie and Trey talk, and I just didn't really like about how he was just like, oh, it's fucking immature. I don't want to be talking about fucking messages. And he's so pissed off. And it's fine to not want to be talking about fucking messages. But I just thought that how he was saying it was just kind of rude.
Exactly. It's like they don't care how they talk to women. And I'm sick of it.
Like, he could have been like, hey, like, let's just talk about, like, us and our connection.
Right.
Like, I know that you have something going on, but, like, I want to build our connection.
Yeah. Except for that, it's obvious that
he's irrelevant too. Because when she first said Troy, I had to think about the fact that his name was Trey. So,
anyways, he walks off. I said fucking asshole, and she said fucking prick. So I was like, okay, we're on the same page here.
She's like, it wasn't just messages; it was more than that. And I was like, what do you like? Every time you keep talking about this, and somehow it's more and more. Messages.
I think it's like they did see each other. I think that the fact that he was just not acknowledging that he knew her, I think is also why she's getting like more irritated. Uma and Will finally have the conversation, and I hate that line. It's like, we weren't in a relationship, and she's like, I never said that we were. And like the way that like all of his defenses were like think that she never said. She's like, I'm entitled to be upset with the fact that you were making out with
you
someone
act like
else.
I'm cheating on you.
And she's like,
I never said that.
She's like, I'm hurt. She's like, I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. And I thought that she was being like, she was like hammering it home, but she wasn't being too in a way where he could be like, oh, she's just crazy. Oh, he couldn't really spin it on her, I don't think.
Right.
He's been trying though, real hard. He's been going hard on trying to spin it as this is a Uma thing.
Right. Instead of just humbling himself and apologizing.
He's
like
I'm sorry.
Since the beginning, he's like, oh, you did it, and this, and you know, you got to, and I'm like, I'm sorry. None of what you're saying is valid.
None. Anything else you want to say about this Uma Will conversation?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm annoyed with Will. I just like want him to just like own up, say sorry, and like just try to win her back instead of just like deflecting and passing the blame. Io pulls Mimi, asking Mimi, how do you feel? Like, F off. She's like, you didn't pass the test. You failed. You let me stand there alone. And they end up having, they just talk a little bit more. And they hug, and he's now trying to, like, flirt with her. He's like, oh, are you wearing pink? Because you saw that I was wearing pink last night. And I was like, is he trying to get her back now?
Yes. He's trying to get her back because he realized, oh, she really don't want nothing to do with me. That's kind of sexy.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna make her want me back.
I gotta make.
But he only wants her back so he can then say he cares about both of them and like he's in a triangle again. He doesn't want her back to fully like say, I want to recouple with you and only be with you and not with Jessica. No, he wants her back to liking him so he can still be like, oh, I like both of you. I gotta continue to get to know both of you. That's the kind of level of want back he wants.
Because then right after that, they're all getting ready for bed. We see Jess waiting outside for Io. Mimi is inside brushing her teeth. And Io, with stains on his underwear, I was just like, he's like stains on his butt. I was like, okay, like you could wear like maybe nicer underwear if you're going to be on camera. But anyway, Io comes into the bathroom, and I think he was flirting with Mimi in the bathroom as well, being like, stop looking at me. And she's like, I wasn't. And you can hear Jessica hear him flirting with her, and then Mimi leaves and goes down the stairs, and Jessica sees her and is like, yells out to Io like, okay, I'm going to bed, I'm going downstairs. And so
and he's like, no, wait up. She's like, no, you're taking too long. I don't feel like it was a both flirting thing. I think she just realizes oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Right. I don't know if she sees what they're doing. I don't
no,
know.
She sees that he's trying to flirt with her, and that he like, oh, so you will dump her too. Okay.
I hope that she has this blocking, but I don't know. I'm worried that she's gonna go back. I'm worried that she's gonna go back.
Me too.
I'm worried. I'm worried. Kay says no, he realized that she does want him. Mimi's very transparent. She'll take him back. I'm worried. You don't think that's so, Tamika? You think that she's gonna stay strong and just allow him to?
No, I just said that. I said whether she takes him back or not, that's on her. But I'm saying is everybody's making it seem like she was sitting there just flirting back. She's like, oh, okay, so you're going to continue to just try to pit me and her against each other. Okay, very funny. I'm not like right now, because I mean, she could have done way more than she did, to be fair.
You could always do more, but I thought that she's
like, bye, see you.
Going to bed. Personally, but,
I thought which is why I said if the producers know what's good for them, they will dump him.
Blade and Grace are sleeping outside, as well as Io and Jessica. And then I just wrote, yes, Mimi is immune from the vote because she is single. They were going to be voting for the most compatible couple. And we also see that next episode, we're going to have the Love Island Film Festival.
And that's another reason I'm like, okay, we'll see. Let's see what happens movie night. If they're going to show even more of what Io did.
Didn't he take her to the hideaway? She doesn't
even know all of that.
Right.
Well, we'll soon find out. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming to chat with me. A little bit late, sorry. About this episode. What do we have going on, Miss T Joy, that we can share with our friends in the chat?
We're gonna switch over to Mika, right? We're about to do basically Bachelorette.
Or are we doing it tomorrow? What do you want?
No, I mean, we could do it. I just have to finish up the last couple slides, but.
Okay. So what, like 4?
Yeah.
Okay, at 4, we're going to do Bachelorette, and that's it. And then trying to keep up with these shows.
Cool. And Mika, what's going on?
So yeah, if you did not watch our coverage of Love Island USA, even if you haven't watched the show yet, what are you doing?
It's good.
Yeah. So go watch our recap, go watch the show, and then join us at 4:00 to watch us go over the cast of Bachelorette season 21 Gen Trans cast. We got something to say, and the show starts on Monday.
And I actually haven't really looked at these guys, so I don't really know what they look like. I don't know anything about them, so I'll be on like looking on Instagram and seeing like, okay, like we'll be doing that. Okay.
So
trying to find their signs.
Yes, if you could find signs, because I couldn't find anything. But yes, signs would be good. So join us then, and I will be back tomorrow night for the Fallout of Casa Amor live on my channel as well. So follow me on Entertainment in Color. We bring it.
Woo! All right, thank you so much, everybody here in the chat, for joining us live, and everybody that's watching after. Please subscribe to the channel. We're just trying to build a community of people that love talking about these shows just as much as we do. So let's come together and subscribe to both of our channels, like this video, and let us know, who do you think is going to be in the bottom three couples? Do you think that Io and Jess are going to be in there? Do you think it's all Jesses are going to be in the bottom? They're just like, the producer's like, let's get rid of a Jess. So
No,
Jess
I
and
think
Trey,
there are some people who
Jesse
actually,
and Joey.
yeah, I think people
Jess and
voted
Io.
for Jesse and Joey. I'm going to tell you the truth because he stayed loyal. I did see a couple of votes for that. I do think it could be Jessica and Io. Yeah, I mean, we really didn't see Jess and Hugo, and then she threw that shot at Matilda.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
another Jess. Did I didn't even mention
Yeah,
her?
so
I said Jess and Trey.
and Trey and Ellie,
Yeah, I think those will be the three
Trey and Ellie
bottom
would
couples.
be in the bottom for sure.
and then Justin Hugo, because I can't think of anybody else. People vote because they couldn't vote for Mimi. People voted for Will and Uma because they don't want Uma to be in Jeopardy.
Right.
So I don't think Will and Uma will be in the bottom.
Kay doesn't mind casting Jess, but I'm ready for my Io to go so Mimi can be freed from her shackles. Yeah.
I can only pray that they allow that to happen. They just need to dump because we need to be free.
Kay
She
says
needs to be free.
Messy Jess has been long overdue for her eviction notice. Please
Yes,
evict her from the villa.
Yes,
Yes, Jess
Please
needs
don't
to
let
be in
the
the bottom.
Islanders vote because the girls will save her. Just let the public.
Do you think that the public is going to dump Jess though?
I think they could.
Oh, maybe Hugo is not that much of a pull.
Like they didn't really show that. All they showed her was being clearly jealous yet again and trying to cover up for her and him's little connection by taking a pot shot at Matilda. Did we see Hugo and Jess really?
No.
She can go, and I know there's probably people who like her, especially after Recoupling. Some people,
all right.
Oh, we forgot about them. They'll definitely.
Oh shit.
Yep, they're gonna be in the bottom.
All about them.
All Jesses are staying out of the bottom, probably. Bye, everybody.